Hey, how's it everyone? Aloha, welcome back to the channel. Today I want to try something a little bit different for this channel. I wanted to do a backpack review. I've done a few slings, but I have several backpacks that I wanted to review, so I thought maybe I'd give it a try since I have a new camera bag that just came in. Now, speaking of backpacks, if you've seen any other travel videos on my channel, you know that I've said before that this Nomatic 24-liter travel pack is my favorite backpack. I've said before that I will do a full review at some point when I get a chance. I just got back from a 2-week Mediterranean cruise, and I thought for sure I can do, hey, what's in my backpack traveling through Europe, but I was in and out of it more than I thought I would. And that's one of the reasons why I bought this other backpack that we're going to talk about. I thought that this was going to be kind of my main travel pack and my personal item. And then once we got, to our ports of call, that I would use a sling for my camera. But unfortunately, it just didn't fit comfortably in any of the slings that I brought. So I wound up taking this backpack everywhere I went. Which again, that's not a problem in and of itself. But it did make me decide that I wanted to get something that's a little more photographic centric. One of the reasons why I do like this backpack is because if you open the main compartment, it opens nice and wide. And it just so happens my grab and go kit, which you've seen before on this channel. It's the GoPro Hero 11 Black along with the Sony ZV-1. If you look at it, it fits perfectly down here at the bottom. And so I generally will put that on the bottom. It's probably the heaviest thing that I tend to carry anyway. And so it's nice and balanced and weighted correctly on the bottom, and so it doesn't flip over and that kind of thing. Now, if I feel like taking a full frame kit, I'm able to do that too. I actually have this insert. This is from an old Tenba bag, one of their old DNA shoulder bags. It comes out, and believe it or not, it also fits perfectly in this spot. And generally what I do is I will put the camera in there, a camera body and lens, and then I also will put my noise cancelling headphones in there. And that fits perfectly in there too. And like I said, up until this cruise, I was really happy with that solution. I not really thought about doing anything different. But what happened was, again, this became kind of my daily, everyday bag. And so it just became a little difficult with having to take everything out of the top and then reach down there and get the camera. And then, when I was done taking pictures for the day, or, we're getting on a bus or a van going to the next location, stuffing the camera gear back in there, putting my my regular sling or my jacket or whatever on top of it. Then we get on our location and take all that stuff out. So I did decide that I wanted to go ahead and get a dedicated camera backpack for my next trip, which we have coming up. So let me get that. Okay, this should be a dead giveaway here. With the Nomatic branding and of course Peter McKinnon signature. So I should preface this by saying, I've seen this bag. This is a 25-liter bag. I've seen it like a million times on the internet, but I actually have never seen it in true life. If I'm just buying it strictly because I love the Nomatic travel pack that I've been using. I love the aesthetic of it and the materials, and I mean, it's held up very well. It's gotten a lot of use. In fact, I was looking at my Can You Name the Airport series. I think I'm up to like 15. We'll have one more before the year's over. That's come with me on all of those trips. Last summer I bought it for Mediterranean cruise, 2-week Mediterranean cruise. And then this summer, as I said earlier, I use it every day on our 2-week Mediterranean cruise now. I absolutely love it. So even though I've never seen this bag, I did decide to just go ahead and take a chance and get it. I know it's an expensive bag, but I will give you a hint. Do not pay full price for any Nomatic gear. And I'll tell you why. They have sales throughout the year where they discount their stuff significantly. For the travel stuff, like the travel backpack, they have kind of like this, I forget what they call it, but it's their like scratch and dent sale. I think you can get up to like 70% off of the bags when you get it through that. I got this one on sale for 50% off. If you don't know anything about the bag, you actually buy the bag and then you buy the accessories kind of a la carte. So the version I got would have been an even $400. I think it was like $399.99. But they're having a 50% off sale. And so it was only $212. And that's what you would pay for any reasonable, you know, high quality backpack. Alrighty, let's get our official unboxing knife out. That should be good enough. Let's see if I can get this back in. Alrighty, there's the Peter McKinnon Pirate Life logo. Very nice. So definitely just feeling, I can tell it has the same tarpaulin material on the side. Let's see. It doesn't have the locking zippers that the travel pack has. Or does it? It does not. That's okay. Sure, we can find a way to secure it. I got it with the tech pouch, I think is what they call this, or tech organizer. Let's see. Camera tech organizer. So we'll take a look at this separately because I do want to compare it to the alpaca element tech case that I have. So we'll look at that a little bit later in a separate video. This one has the same bottle holders on the side. Now, I know some people don't like the bottle holders, and honestly, I didn't like them at first when I saw them. When you look at them kind of head on like this, they do look kind of funny. When you put something in there, they do kind of stick out. You know, it reminds me of that one friend that we all have where, you know, their ears are too big for their head. So I wasn't sure if I'd like it or not, but I will tell you, after owning that one for a year and traveling all over, I actually like them, and I'll tell you why. They will hold a wide variety of bottles, and I mean, like, you can put a square bottle in there, you can put a small bottle, you can put a big bottle in there. It all fits very well. Also, because it has mesh, moisture doesn't gather inside the pocket. And also, just the magnetic closure does keep it flush against the body when not in use. You can buy some separate straps, and you can put a tripod in here if you wanted to. Oh, I see. It has, oh, I see. So it doesn't open up like the travel pack does. I know for this you can adjust the height of this ladder, whether you want it high or low. The one thing I did notice, it doesn't have any kind of quick stash on the outside, so that's kind of unfortunate. So, you know, it'd be nice if they had a little slit pocket here for, you know, grab and go items like maybe your sunglasses or a microfiber cloth or anything, change, you know, something that you might need very quickly. So it'd be kind of nice if they had that. Looks like the front has some MOLLE type loops here. Honestly, I don't know if I'll use that. I mean, I suppose you could put some carabiners on there or something, but let's see. I do like how the bottom is flat. So this is supposed to stand up on its own, regardless of whether it's full or empty. And when it's full, supposedly it won't tump over. Let me see, going on to the back, I'm noticing right away that these straps are much thicker than the straps that are on a travel backpack. That is one thing unusual about that travel backpack. I mean, it will expand to like 30 liters, but the straps are really thin. Thin this way. Not thin this way, but actually thin this way. And it's never really been a problem. It's just kind of surprising that a pack meant to hold that much weight would have such thin padding in the shoulder straps, but I can see right away that these are much better. The other improvement that I see that is much better is that this will sit vertically on your luggage. That, I say, is one of the big downfalls of the other bag. It sits horizontally, and honestly, after going through so many international airports this summer, having to take out your passport or your boarding pass or both combinations of both, and I'm sure there's like a circle in hell somewhere where like you have to travel and your backpack only sits horizontally on your suitcase. So I'm glad that this will load vertically. That will be a blessing. Let's see what else. I am eager to go ahead and look on the main compartment, because as I mentioned before, if you're not familiar with the bag, you actually buy the bag by itself, and then you buy the interior parts kind of a la carte. I'll show you what I mean by that after I can get this open. Oh, that's interesting. So it's getting kind of tangled there amongst the, okay. Alright, so all the bags come with this ladder system, and I was saying earlier, you can put it up high in this position, or you can put it lower, or you can take it out completely. But other than that, they sell cubes that go in this interior space here, and you can buy like one small cube, two small cubes, or one large cube to fit in there. What I wound up getting, and I'm not exactly sure how this is going to work now, so I didn't realize that. I didn't buy any cubes. So I'm kind of cubeless. So hopefully this will work. But I wound up getting this divider kit. And these are, you probably see on the picture, these are kind of your standard Velcro dividers that you put into the bag. So instead of having cubes, I think what I'm going to wind up doing is, you know, partitioning these off, various sizes or whatever, for the way that I want to configure the inside. Okay, on the opposite side of the backpack, it looks like we have two large mesh pockets. I actually like that design. In the travel pack here, I think that's one of the weaknesses of this design. I'm going to go ahead and show you that on camera. If you look at the first level of pockets on this bag, you just have these four little pockets here. They're small. They don't have, I mean, they have elastic, but there's no way to seal them. I found them not very useful, I guess I should say. You can see I have some lotion, some lactate, and honestly the only other thing I put in here is sometimes some headphones. But honestly, I just don't find them very useful. They're very small. They don't seal up, so the second that you have to put your bag in an awkward position, everything falls out of it. So it's not very useful at all. So I definitely like this arrangement much better with the two large pockets. They zipper close. I think that's a lot more useful than the other bag. The laptop compartment is all the way in the back. It's not an issue for me. But it's one of these where it opens to the side. If you can see that. Supposedly holds like a 16-inch MacBook Pro. I kind of don't like this design. I mean, I guess I could take it or leave it, but it's not my favorite design. That is one thing that I do very much love about this other bag, and I'm going to show you that real quick. There's a separate compartment. The back opens up. It opens up fully. I've put my 14-inch M1 MacBook Pro in here, no problem. So you have room for that. And you actually have a tablet sleeve. I've put my M1 iPad Pro with the keyboard case on there. That fits in there. They both fit in there perfectly with no issues. And I love the fact that across from that you have this pocket here. And so if I have documents I have to print out, like our cruise itinerary, flight itinerary, whatever, then I do just tend to put hard copies right there. And I do like how easily accessible this is. I mean, when I'm flying, I generally put this under the seat in front of me like this. And so that way I have my quick stash here, and then I can almost get to anything when it's in that orientation. So with this one, obviously, it'll take a little more work to get to the laptop since it's in this vertical position in the back. We have a car show to go to tomorrow. If I get a chance to, tonight when I pack up the cameras, I will just go ahead and do a very quick what's in my new camera bag video once again. It is the next day. We're getting ready to go to car show. I've gathered up all the camera and equipment that we want to take with us. I'm going to show that to you in here in a second, and we'll see how we're going to get that in this bag. Now, interestingly, this is the 10-bit insert that I showed you on camera yesterday. It actually does also fit perfectly in this bag. So you can see it just drops in right there. And I want to go through here and I'll show you everything that's in here. Okay, in the car show, just FYI, we're walking to it, so we don't want to carry too much gear. Also, I don't think that we need a lot of gear because it's going to be indoors and it's a professional car show, so there's going to be good lighting and all that, so we don't have to worry too much about bringing flashes or any kind of external light. And the bag just fell over, so I might as well start here with what we have. Let's see. I'm going to start off with what my son is going to shoot because he has the easiest setup here. He has the Canon RP. I'm going to fit in there somewhere. We're using an old EF lens with that, 24-105 f4L lens, so we do have to use the RF to EF adapter. I generally don't like using straps, but because we're going to be walking around a bit with the cameras out, we are going to use, for that camera, we have the bigger Peak Design slide strap. So that's the biggest one. We're going to use that with that. Now, if you know anything about the RP and those similar generation Canon cameras, they use these tiny batteries. Man, you have got to have at least one spare, if not two. And if you're going to do video, you should have three probably. So we're going to take a spare battery. And that's kind of it for my sun setup. Now I'm going to be shooting my A7C II with a Tamron 24mm f2.8. That kind of has been my go-to lens ever since I purchased this lens. If you go back through the channel, I've done several videos on these and several shorts. So I've definitely just fallen in love with this. And I know the 24mm is wide enough that I'll probably be able to get any car in the shot tonight. So we're going to take that. Now, I'm also going to take my Tamron 2875. This is the f2.8, the G2 version, so the newest version. That's going to be just a kind of just-in-case lens. Now, like I said, we usually don't use camera straps, but for tonight I'm going to be using the Peak Design leash. This is the Carryology edition, you can tell from the orange hardware. And I got this primarily because it's described on the site as being more like cut resistant. So I took this to Rome with me this past summer. And I'm noticing that the gray stripe here and here, I think this is the same material that PacSafe uses. And if it is, that means there's like a thin wire running through this gray area here that makes it cut resistant. Okay, so we're going to use that with the A7C II. I'm also bringing my go-to for video, my GoPro Hero 11 Black. So hope to get some B-roll with that. I do have it just on a generic selfie stick with a little carabiner. Also in Sony Orange. Other than that, we have the batteries. I have yet to get a spare battery for my A7C II, but then again, I've never had problem with it going dead during a shoot. And if need be, it can charge by USB-C anyway fairly easily. Whereas with the Canon models like this RP and the R8, if you're going to charge it from an external power bank, it has to be one of the PD power banks, so it's a little bit more finicky as far as what it will charge with. So like I said, we have the spare battery here for the Canon RP, and then this is probably overkill, but I have two Enduro batteries for the GoPro. And for these batteries, I am just going to tuck them right down here into this mesh pocket. Also, while we're talking about the mesh pocket, we are also going to take some polarizing filters. I'm not sure that we're going to need it. We have a 76mm and a 67mm. Those are also just going to go in one of this mesh pockets. So that is the equipment. I'm also going to take my PacSafe Sling. There's a great video of this on my channel. But essentially, the external battery is going to go in here. Any kind of cables, my ID, pens, anything that I might just need for a quick draw. And I believe that will fit perfectly up top. Okay, so let's get to the divider kit and see what's in there. Here's a photo of what it comes with and ideally how it is set up. I guess there are two long pieces that bisect the bag laterally, I guess it would be. And then you set up the foam dividers vertically in the bag. Okay, here are the long dividers. You get two of them. They sit here in the bag like this. Okay, I see. And then you have the smaller dividers. So I imagine it sits something like this. And you divide it up as you want to. Okay, that part I'm not going to do on camera. I'm not very good at these kind of spatial things like that, so it may take me a while to get everything fitted in here. So I'm going to do that off camera and then just come back and show you how everything fits. Okay, wow, that took a little bit longer than expected, but this is kind of what I settled on. On the bottom we have the Canon RP. That's just the heaviest setup, so I figure I'll go ahead and put that down at the bottom along with the Peak Design slide. In the middle section you can see it's still kind of wonky. I need to work on the main dividers there, but the A7C II fits there. Now unfortunately the zoom lens won't fit right beside it, so I just put a divider there along with the leash strap and the GoPro just to make use of the space, and then up top we put the zoom lens. Okay, for the GoPro selfie stick, I generally tend to do this anyway, so I went ahead and put it on the exterior water bottle pocket and then just carabinered it in. I do that a lot of times when I travel, so if I want to do kind of B-roll or POV video, I'll have the GoPro on there and then I can quickly whip it out and then just take some POV video. And finally, I wanted to show you the top pocket. Now, I have noticed this, that I'm kind of getting the zippers mixed up. I think part of it is because of all these tassel-y things. If you pull them all to top center, they all kind of feel the same and look the same. So anyway, I might have to deal with that by changing them or cutting them off or something. But anyway, I did want to go over the top pocket. See, I just mixed them up. As I kind of expected, the PacSafe Sling fits perfectly in there. I just have like my wallet, the power bank, some cords, everything like that. So technically I could empty out that bag and just put everything in this top shelf portion here, but then at the end of the day I'll just have to wind up putting everything back into the PacSafe bag. So anyway, I won't mess with that. And I did want to point out in the video yesterday I said I was disappointed because there wasn't a kind of quick stash pocket. There is one here, so I guess this is kind of maybe a quick access pocket if you want to think of it that way. But the only thing I noticed when I opened it up is it doesn't have any kind of lining in it. So you definitely wouldn't want to put like your Bear sunglasses in there or any kind of like Bear filters or anything, because it just might scratch it up. I mean, this material isn't very harsh, but it is plastic. It's not microfiber. So just something to keep in mind. Alright, well I think that pretty much concludes our unboxing / what's in my camera bag for the Peter McKinnon 25-liter camera backpack. If you enjoyed any of this, please consider dropping a like. If you have any questions at all, please put in the comment. I'll be happy to answer them. And please stay tuned for future content. Hopefully you'll see this particular bag in action in future videos. Thank you.